Hey everybody, what is going on? HexLex here. Got another Master Duel video for you. Coming at you with a deck that I think a lot of people might have been sleeping on just a little bit. RB. Now, the joke, of course, going around is that the initials here stand for really bad. But the deck is not quite as bad as it might seem based on that nickname. In fact, I think it's quite a bit better than some of even the other cards introduced in this selection pack. Not Cool Tune necessarily, but like True Draco and all that stuff. Now, as you've probably already noticed, this is not me playing. However, after seeing this game in particular on Duel Lives, I felt really inspired to watch more RB gameplay and just see what the deck is really capable of. So this player is going to begin with Tetherwolf, summoning a Mecha Phantom Beast token. Really, you just need two machine monsters in order to get your RB combo lines going, so it could be a Speedroid engine with Terror Top. I've seen people use Orcus monsters, so here they're going to go Tetherwolf plus token into RB Vulcan Booster. Vulcan Booster lets us add a spell from deck to hand. It's going to be RB Stage Landing. RB Stage Landing is going to go for the Lambda Cannon, which can pay 1200 to look at the opponent's hand. And then, after looking at the opponent's hand, you can special summon a monster from it to their field, but negate its effects. So here we see we're up against Lunalight. Our opponent's got Masquerade, Heavy Poly, Gold Leo, and Fractal. So here we can choose to special summon the Gold Leo to their field and negate it, so they can't use this as a starter. Now, they have a couple of other starters, and we obviously have to worry about the Heavy Poly, but this hand is very manageable for what RB is capable of. There's Gold Leo with no effect. Now we're going to go for the field spell, summoning the GA10 Driller, and then we can summon Lambda Blade from hand. Now we're going to link off the Vulcan Booster and Lambda Blade into RB The Brute Blues. Brute Blues gets to add Operation Test from deck to hand, and that will let us in turn summon back the Lambda Cannon. Now we can go Lambda Cannon to target this GA10 Cutter that we sent earlier, which can now be special summoned to our field. Operation Test can then add back the Lambda, which we can then summon, and the Stage Landing, by the way, is not once per turn. And also, the Stage Landing can even summon a Link 3 like Shepherd's Crook from the extra deck. There's a lot more going on with RB than it might seem just on the surface here. By the way, these other cards that are in our Link Monster Zones or our linked zones of Brute Blues, the Cutter can negate a spell or trap card and destroy it, and the Driller can destroy a monster. So very, very nice. On top of the attack buff that Shepherd's Crook gains, we can also set the counter trap, the Omni Negate counter trap, I believe, next phase. Not Omni Negate, it's only monster effects, but still quite solid. So we have a monster negate at counter trap speed and destroy. We have a spell trap negate and destroy. We can pop a monster with the Driller as well. The Shepherd's Crook also has the ability to summon out more RB monsters on top of the Brute Blues, which also cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects, gains a bunch of attack, and can attack multiple times. So it's really easy to think of RB as like this slower, trying to OTK, sometimes even going second deck. But as we can see, the turn 1 end board's got quite a bit of an oomph to it, and we're not done yet. Alright, going into our opponent's turn, they're going to draw. Here is that Masquerade. We're going to use GA10 Cutter on that. We can negate and destroy the Masquerade here. There it goes. Alright, now we get to use the field spell effect. They're going to chain Maxi, which was their top deck. Pretty unlucky for us, but we're just going to end up using the next phase in order to negate and destroy it. We know their last two cards are Fractal and Heavy Poly, and we can handle that based on what we have here. We're going to summon out the, what is this card here? The Pile Bunker, which when an attack is declared can potentially blow up the opponent's whole board. However, what they're going to do is activate the Heavy Poly, and we're going to change Shepherd's Crook. Now, Shepherd's Crook can put back the... Oh, it can revive. Yeah, it revives the Lambda Blade by putting the others back. And here, our opponent does get to Heavy Poly for 4. Unfortunately, they can just get out the Liger Dancer. However, you can already see that, 1, that costs our opponent pretty much all but 500 of their life points, and 2, Liger Dancer, one of the only ways to out this monster is by battling over it, and Brute Blues is currently already very capable of doing that. So we shouldn't have too much trouble getting ourselves in a situation where Brute Blues can out this Liger Dancer. They're going to blow up our whole board. However, thanks to one of the spell cards in our graveyard, the Stage Landing, we can stop any of our monsters from being destroyed. Now they're going to use Fractal in order to ditch the Silver Hound. Silver Hound is going to summon Gold Leo. Gold Leo is going to activate. We're going to chain the Lambda Blade here, which has the ability to, what is this? Destroy, and if you do take control, so we're going to take control of the Gold Leo, I see. Or I guess we would have. Alright, now here they're going to get another Masquerade, which they can use, because the first one was negated. They're going to dump Kaleido Chick, we're going to go Gold Leo effect, add back the Kaleido Chick, that was just dumped. Now we can normal summon Kaleido Chick and use its effect to send away the Leo Dancer. Yellow Martin's going to bounce Gold Leo, summon, and then we're going to overlay, or they're going to overlay rather, into the Tiger King, the Fire Fist Tiger King. Now here's where we're going to use the GA10 Driller in order to destroy their Tiger King. Doesn't negate it, but it does get it off the field. And they can go for a 10 key here, but there's not really much else they can add that's going to help them at this point. They are going to end up activating Tinky for Black Sheep, and then discarding Black Sheep in order to add Polymerization from deck to hand. But again, they don't really have the ability to do anything with that Polymerization. Now here, Liger Dancer can battle into everything, but again, the Brute Blues cannot be destroyed by battle, so it's going to remain on the field. Going to top a Cutter. Now we're going to go Brute Blues effect in order to add another Stage Landing. We're going to activate Stage Landing. They're going to chain Silver Hound to negate. And fortunately for us, our opponent's going to use their Liger Dancer board wipe, like, right away. They really should have just held on to this until we went to battle phase, but now it's going to be way easy to get over this Liger Dancer. We're going to go Funk Dock effect, and we're going to special summon Lambda Cannon. Lambda Cannon is going to activate to add back the Pile Bunker. We can then go Pile Bunker and Cutter. It's going to give our Brute Blues 4,900 attack points, which, as you can see, is more than enough to finish off this Lunalight opponent. So yeah, like I said, I watched this game, and I just thought it was such an excellent example of RB playing out not only their turn 1 combo line, but also playing through a massive towers monster and then OTKing on the follow-up turn. Now, since I don't have my own deck list to show you, after each of these games, I'm going to try to show you each of these players' deck lists that we're seeing here. So, yeah, as mentioned, looks like they are utilizing the Mecha Phantom Beast Tetherwolf to summon another machine token, and then use that to link into the RB cards. Again, any one card that generates 2 machine bodies will do it. And for good measure, let's just go ahead and take a look at the opponent's deck list as well. Why not? Okay, now we're going to head off into our next game. Okay, found another RB game. This person is using Girsu as their means of getting 2 machine monsters on board. Of course, you can use Girsu and then make the token if you control no other monsters. It does give your opponent a token, but not really that big of a deal for a deck like this. Notice that these are all pretty much on Dimension Shifter, which makes sense. There doesn't seem to be like a ton of graveyard synergy here necessarily, at least from what I can tell. And a Sky Striker package as well, because I imagine... No, the Hornet Drone's token is Warrior. Oh, but Camellia is a machine. The Link monsters are machines, of course. How could I forget? Alright, and this opponent looks like they are going to be on pretty standard-looking Canine Vanquish Soul. Alright, interesting. Yeah, let's see how this one plays out. Hoping it's going to be another dub for RB. But again, we'll just have to see how things shake out here. Okay, this time we're going second. And we didn't open any hand traps. We opened a lot of engine to push through whatever they put up, which is nothing. Okay. You know, this has happened the last couple times I've played against Canine Vanquish Soul. They just pass without doing anything. I mean, it is a bit of a bricky deck, but it seems a bit extreme here. Okay, we're going to go Terratop, and they're going to chain Fuelos. Terratop, as mentioned, being another good way to get 2 machine monsters out for your RB plays. We're then going to normal summon Girsu, dumping the World Crown, and then we're going to immediately link for 3 into RB, the Brute Blues. So we've only given them 1 draw. Now we get to activate Brute Blues to add Funk Dock. We're going to activate RB Funk Dock and use the effect to add Pile Bunker. Now, I mean, can't we just equip a bunch of monsters and, yeah, swing in for lethal? How easy is that? It can even attack twice at 4,000 attack points. Wow, I was kind of hoping for a little bit more of a back and forth game, but if nothing else, this does demonstrate just how easy it is for RB to actually pull off an OTK. And again, I mean, really, it's Canine Vanquish, so I feel like half the time you play against them, they end up just passing without doing anything anyway. Lucky for us here, we only gave them the one draw with Fuelos as well. I imagine our opponent's hand might have had, like, could have even potentially had, like, Holly Sue or some other things. Also, did we activate any monster effects in the hand or graveyard? I don't think we actually did. So even if they had an Izuna, we wouldn't have triggered that either. No, yeah, we didn't, did we? Because I think this just special summons. Yeah, it's not. It's one of those special summons that doesn't activate. It just does it. So I imagine our opponent was probably sitting on like Izuna with us not triggering it, or Holly Sue without the right attributes, or a VS monster to reveal. Either way, very impressive and quick OTK. I'm going to try to find one more replay for us to watch here at the very least. Okay, found another RB replay. This person also using Girsu as our machine starter in order to make plays. We got the Therion King Regulus here, as well as a Clockwork Knight to grab off of the, well, Clockwork Knight. And it looks like this time we are once again up against Canine Vanquish Soul. Again, seems like a relatively standard build here. Alright, so let's see what RB does this time. Yeah, that first game still just kind of has blown me away. I actually pulled a couple of the RB Link monsters and just ended up dismantling them. So hopefully I don't end up regretting that. Okay, now here we've got the Mecha Hornet drones. Dual Speed is going to fire off a Maxi, but we do have the Ash Blossom, so maybe we'll get to see how Hornet drones can set up a combo line. Ooh, but there's an Izuna in response. That's pretty rough. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to be able to combo through whatever they summon here with the Izuna Lupus. Okay, there's our token. They're going to go Izuna, dump the Lupus. And they do give us a chance to link off here. We're going to link the token into Kagari. Now Kagari gets to activate. They're going to summon out the Lupus. And let's see if they Xyz summon right off the bat. They're not. They're going to let us continue to play first. Interesting. So here's Hayate. And I imagine we're now threatening to move to battle phase and attack with Hayate. This is going to force Dual Speed to summon the Nosh Knight. And we're going to chain... Or no, we're going to activate Hornet Drones and then they're going to chain Nosh Knight. I see. Absorbing the Hayate as a material. And then we get another token. But can we make more plays through this? Let's find out. Linking away the Sky Striker token, again, this time for Amatsu. We're going to activate Therion King Regulus, equipping the Kagari in our graveyard in order to special summon. And now we have two machine monsters. We're going to link the two of them into the RB Vulcan Booster to get our plays going. Vulcan Booster gets to add the RB Funk Dock. Funk Dock is going to activate here. Now we can add Stage Landing. Next we're going to activate Stage Landing and summon out Lambda Cannon. Lambda Cannon is going to get to activate. Let's look at their hand. It's Izuna, Noroi, and Stake Your Soul. Or sorry, not Izuna, it's Jokul. Jokul, Noroi, and Stake Your Soul. So interesting. We can get our hand down to one card. So I don't think we have to worry about Noroi that much. Stake Your Soul could summon Holisu by revealing Noroi or Caesar Valius, but without any other attributes in hand, that doesn't really do enough. I kind of think we should summon and then obviously negate the Jokul. Would probably be my pick here. But they're going to go for Noroi. Okay. I think I would have gone with Jokul personally. But maybe this will pan out. Alright, they're going to go Lambda Blade to send the GA10 Driller, which can then be special summoned off the Vulcan Booster. Now we're going to go Vulcan Booster plus Lambda Blade into the Brute Blues. Brute Blues gets to activate. We're going to add RB Operation Test, which is going to activate and then summon the Lambda Cannon back from the graveyard. Lambda Cannon is going to then add back the Lambda Blade. And then we're going to use Operation Test in order to bounce back the cannon and summon the blade. Now, Driller can pop the Nosh Knight. We're going to banish the stage landing to avoid our Driller getting popped, and then we're going to link Driller and Lambda Blade into Barricade Borg Blocker. Now, Barricade Borg Blocker is going to discard Clockwork Knight, which can then activate, letting us discard in order to add an Earth Machine from deck to hand. That's going to be the GA10 Cutter, which we can then summon and link with the Barricade Borg Blocker. And that's going to make Shepherd's Crook. Now, Shepherd's Crook can set the counter trap from our deck, and we're going to pass over to our opponent. So they've got Jokel and Stake Your Soul, plus whatever they top decked here. They're going to activate Stake Your Soul, revealing Jokel. See, this is what I didn't really like that much. I didn't want them to be able to summon out the Mad Love here, which could get the field spell and really get their plays going. I think limiting them, not only is Naroi a little bit weaker than Jokel, especially when you only have one card in hand, yeah, now they can get their plays going. But let's see what happens here. We're going to go Shepherd's Crook for the Driller and the Cutter. Putting back Lambda Blade and Cutter to summon the Drill. Here's Mad Love. Mad Love's going to activate. We're going to flip next phase to both negate and destroy. So there goes that. Now, hopefully they don't have more follow-up here. We get to use Funk Dock for Lambda Blade. Lambda Blade's going to send the Last Stand. And yeah, look, they got another level 5. This is exactly why we should not have... I guess to be fair, it was another Jokel, so even if we had left them the Naroi, they could have gone Jokel and Naroi. But here we're just going to take the Jokel anyway. Now the Brute Blues is going to get battled over, and it looks like main phase 2 they're going to end up making the Typhone. Alright, so let's see what we end up doing in the face of this. They're going to bounce their own Jokel back to their hand, and then pass. Okay, we've got Lambda Cannon plus Operation Test and Funk Dock. Girsu seems like a very nice top deck. We can normal summon Girsu, dump the Harp Horror, activate to put a token on each field. Now, once again, we have 2 machine monsters. But even then, it looks like we're going to link off our World Legacy token for Galatea Eye. Now, Galatea Eye gets to activate, sending away the Lambda Cannon to add the World Crown, which we could special summon to a linked zone later on in the turn. Now, we're going to link summon another RB Vulcan Booster. Vulcan Booster is going to activate. We're going to add the Stage Landing, almost called it Secret Landing. Special Summoning World Crown, we can then revive Lambda Cannon. Lambda Cannon is going to activate, adding back the GA10 Driller. Now we're going to link Vulcan Booster plus Lambda Cannon into yet another copy of the Brute Blues. Brute Blues gets to add an RB card. It's going to be another copy of Stage Landing. So insane that Stage Landing is not once per turn, and then I can just summon out Shepherd's Crook. That's actually just ridiculous. Setting next phase from the graveyard yet again, we're going to activate another Stage Landing, summon Vulcan Rocket. Vulcan Rocket gets to activate. We can pop their monsters and then banish to substitute for the destruction. Moving to battle phase, we can now easily swing in with Brute Blues for that 4K 2-attack lethal. Such a cool strategy. You love to see it. I do anyway. Yeah, I definitely slept on this deck a little bit. Definitely kind of regret dusting the RB Link monsters. Just so I had one of each of them, right? I could have easily just crafted another one of each and then tried the deck out after seeing these games, but I don't know, it's only 4 URs. I might end up coming back to it at some point. Either way, these games I thought were a really cool indication of what RB is capable of, and hopefully you agree as well. Thank you, as always, for watching. Super appreciate the support, but definitely want to make sure we move on now to our outro so we can thank our YouTube members and Patreon subscribers. Hey everybody, Hexlex here. Thank you so very much for watching all the way to the very end of the video, which by the way is one of the best ways to support the channel. Speaking of supporting the channel, take a look at the names on screen. These are folks who have been so generous as to either join as a YouTube member or subscribe over on patreon.com/Hexlex to support. There's also perks for doing so. If you would like to see YouTube videos early, as well as some exclusive videos that get uploaded to YouTube, but for one reason or another I decide not to publish, definitely go go ahead and hit that join button to see content early, as well as some exclusive content. If you're looking for more exclusive content, over on patreon.com, I upload exclusive videos that are not posted on YouTube just about every single day. Whether you choose to subscribe over on Patreon, join as a YouTube member, or simply continue to watch, your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you so very much. But for now, this is HexLex. I am signing out, and I hope that you have a fantastic day.